Nigeria is not going to the World Cup. They lost the World Cup qualifiers against Congo. And the coach came out with a very, very, very good thing, that the Congolese were using juju. That's why Congolese beat them in the World Cup qualifier in penalties, and they went to the World Cup. This is a very, very serious allegation. You Congolese people, why are you doing this to my English-speaking brother? Why are you doing this? Because you changed the goalkeeper, we saw it, but that goalkeeper was not human being. That was a leopard. It was a cheetah, maybe a leopard, because the way that thing was diving. No, this cannot be a real person. This was a leopard. How can you change the goalkeeper in the last minute only for penalties? You knew what you are doing. This was a leopard. The whole stadium and the people on TV were seeing a person over there. But Nigerian coach was seeing a leopard. A leopard was diving left, right, and beating Nigerians in their penalties. This is a very serious allegation that we have to take it to the FIFA president Infantino. Hey, Mr. Infantino, if Congolese goes to the World Cup, don't allow this leopard to be substituted. Don't allow this leopard in the goal, because if you allow this leopard in the goal, they are going to win the World Cup unfairly. So let's go back to serious issues, man. That was the allegation of the Nigerian coach after they lost. But you can hear what he's saying right now here. Before we go back, we go to the main theme, why Nigeria lost.
Eric, coming towards the end of the game, I could see that you were a bit frustrated with maybe some of the DR Congo staff members. Could you give us an update on what happened there?
During all the penalty session, a guy of Congo did some voodoo every time. So this is why I was a little nervous after him.
Yeah. What did you see?
Yeah, something like that. With the I don't know if it's a water or something like that.
Batoba Congo, why you do this to my brother? Man, Nigeria is out of the World Cup for the second year running. And that's something that we have to talk about, because Nigeria is a powerhouse in African football. Yeah. And after they were out, instead of having a healthy conversation and ask themselves and sit down and ask themselves, why are we out of this tournament? They are blaming these things on juju, superstitious. And this is very common in Nigeria. If you watch their movies and everything is all about juju. I mean, they are very, very superstitious people. But this thing, I mean, it's making history as the first nation in Africa to blame that they didn't qualify for the World Cup because of juju. Normally when a coach loses a game, the first thing he thinks about, he sits down and thinks, did I use the right tactic? Did I feel the good players, I mean the players that were capable to match up with this match and everything? Did I motivate the players good enough to come up with this situation? These are the things that a normal coach will start thinking about. But the Nigerian coach was taking the blames to other people, instead of taking himself to taking the liability that he did something wrong. I mean, when you run out of answers, that's when you start looking for scapegoats. And that's the same thing that Nigerian coach did. It was taking alibis over liabilities. Nigeria, everybody knows Nigeria is a superpower in football in Africa. And not only in Africa, even in the world, a good Nigeria team can beat any team all over the world. This is a nation that have won 3 AFCONs, 3 Africa Cup of Nations, have appeared 6 times in the World Cup representing Africa, have won 1-time Olympic gold medal in 1996 in Atlanta. But now for the second year running, they can't even make it to the World Cup. I mean, instead of going upwards where other teams are going, they're going down. They're going down in the African continent. And and these are things that Nigerians themselves should just sit down and ask themselves why. You cannot just sit down and say it was juju, it was juju. You should sit down and see why. Go to the ground and say why are these things happening? Why are these things happening? Because Nigeria is a nation. We all know. We all know. Yeah, it doesn't lack the potential or the players who can qualify to the World Cup. No, Nigeria has everything. It is the most populated country in Africa. They have more possibilities of selection of players than any other country in Africa. And they can't make it to the World Cup. And then they sit over there and say, no, it was juju. It was juju. Come on, man. These things, just imagine, 10 days before this crucial match, there was a standoff between the players and the federation because the federation did not pay the allowances that the players were expecting, or maybe they did not pay them. I don't know what went there, but there was a standoff 10 days before this crucial match. And then tell me, after 10 days, you expect the players to perform, to perform on the pitch? No, listen, you can fix all kinds of paperwork, in a record time. But the moral, of the players is not just something that you can fix it with a snap of a finger. And that is a problem that Nigeria is facing. Just imagine in 2020, in 2022, Nigerian women's team, had a problem with kids. Despite Nigeria being one of the countries that is being sponsored with one of the biggest sports article producers in the world. But they were struggling to get kids for their women's team. And then this time, each and every time, there's always a standoff between the players and the Nigerian national team, a standoff for players and Nigerian national team. And after some talks and everything, the players go back to training and they expect them to perform the way the whole of Nigeria is expecting them to perform. Man, it is impossible. You can't fix these things in a day's time. It takes time before football, as we say usually, football is a game of psychology, a mental game where you have to be very fit mentally. And if you are down in one day, when the moral is not there in one day, it takes time till you get up to the standard where you are mentally. And 10 days before this crucial game, they know when they win these games, I'm thinking 10 days before, they knew when they win these two games, they are in the World Cup. They won the first game, but it was with a struggle because they had to go extra time. They had to go extra time against Gabon, a team that Nigeria used to beat 4-5-0 some years back. They went to extra time. And then when they were meeting the Republic Democratic of Congo, the players of the Democratic Republic of Congo were well prepared. Nigerians, they have not recovered from all these problems with the federation. And that's why when you saw Nigeria playing over there, they were not playing this emotional football. When you are playing for your country, you wear this jersey for your country. It's just like defending your country. You do everything for your country. But these players were not doing the same thing. They were just there on the pitch. They were playing football. Okay, they were playing football. But this emotion is the thing that made Argentina won the World Cup. Look at the games that Argentina were playing. But despite to take out the first game that they lost against Saudi Arabia. But look at all the games Argentina was playing. They were playing with this emotion that Diego Simeone has at Atletico Madrid. They were playing with all their hearts out. They were giving everything. They were fighting for each other. And that's why Argentina won the World Cup. Now, tell me, a country like Germany, they don't have superstars. I think the last person that won Ballon d'Or in Germany was Lothar Matthäus back in 1990, I think so. And Germany have won the World Cup 4 times because they play with emotion. They play with all their hearts. If you compare Germany to England, you see England have got more stars. England is producing stars and stars and stars, but they've only won one World Cup with a controversial goal in 1966 where there was no VAR. Because those times, if there was VAR, maybe they would have disallowed that goal, because nobody knows up to date if the ball really crossed the line. But Nigeria was lacking this thing in this game, and that's why they lost that game. Now coming back and blaming everything on juju, superstition, instead of thinking, what are we doing wrong? Why are the players not performing? We don't like the potential, to even beat a world-class team like Italy, Germany, Brazil, Argentina. They don't think about that, They're looking for scapegoats, blaming others for the mistakes they're making back home. They lost. And this is the second time they are not going to the World Cup. A country that has been representing Africa in the 4 consecutive World Cups. They are not there. And Nigeria, you should sit down and ask yourself, what are we doing wrong? There's something that you are doing wrong. This is not the Nigeria national team that all Africa knows. Nigeria national team is something that used to be something big in Africa. There were players that when you mention their name, you just start shaking. The whole world was starting to shake, man. This player is playing for Nigeria. This player is playing for Nigeria. But nowadays, you can forget it. And then, imagine, a coach, after losing that match, he goes after the bank of the DRC, going after somebody who was shaking something and said this thing was juju. That thing is very funny, very funny. The players, I can say the moral of the players were totally destroyed by the federation by not paying them in time. And if you destroy anybody's moral, we are all human beings. It doesn't take time by paying me today and then tomorrow I'm going to perform. No, it doesn't function that way. You have to pay the players on time, even pay them before the qualification starts. Tell them, come on, we are going to pay you this month and this month. Pay them. This lifts up the moral of the players. And when they go to the pitch, they know, man, when these people are committed, we have to be committed. But if the federation is not committed, don't expect players to be committed on the pitch. That's something that destroys Nigeria completely. I mean, if you compare Nigeria, the team that was playing in the 90s, where there were people like J.J. Okocha, Finidi George, Emmanuel Amunike, there was Amokachi, there was Sando Lise, there's Finidi George. That was Nigeria. That was dominating not only Africa, but the whole world. If you can remember the Olympics in 1996, where Amunike scored the winning goals against not Gabon, not DRC, not South Africa. He scored the winning goals against Argentina with Messi. And they won the Olympic gold. That was Nigeria. But nowadays, the player of Nigeria, instead of going upwards, the federation is doing nothing to develop the talent so that they can move to the next level. There are no quality players in Nigeria national team nowadays. And it is not that Nigeria lacks the potential of producing quality players. This thing is something that the federation is not working out properly to make it work. If you go, just take, let me tell you, for example, if you go to any content creator there, I can challenge you, go to the streets in Africa or Europe or anywhere and ask any person to name for you 4 Nigerian players he knows, Nigerian national team players that he knows. I'm telling you, most of them will come with Victor Osimhen, and that's it. If maybe he can mention three, maybe Victor Osimhen, Awobi, and this guy, and Ademola Lukman. And that's it. The rest you can't forget. Nobody knows them. Then take any player of the 90s, somebody like JJ or Coach, or go to the streets and ask people, can you name me 3 players or 4 players of the Nigerian national team of the 1990s? I mean, he's going to mention even more than 4. More than 4. Take somebody like JJ or Kocha in a mall in Nairobi, Kenya. Yeah, just walking around. He's going to shout down that mall. Everybody's going to rush, J. Yeah? Take Sunday Olise to any mall in South Africa. Everybody will come, Sunday Olise. But now take one Nigerian player, take him to any mall in a big city where everybody knows big players and everything. People will just walk by, except for Victor Osimhen. Nobody knows them. They're all playing for small teams. Yeah, in the 90s, they were playing for teams like Amsterdam. They were playing for teams like Arsenal. They were playing for teams like Barcelona. They were playing for... That was Nigeria. Those days. But now there's this Nigeria, you can just forget about it. And instead of sitting down and asking themselves, why are we not making to the next level? Yeah, they start giving up excuses. It's because of juju. The Congo people were using juju. That's why we are not there. Come on, man. Give me a break, man. If juju was real, I mean, African nations would be lifting World Cups and World Cups and World Cups. If juju was real, Haiti is one of the places that you'll see a lot of juju because they inherited that from their African ancestors. Would be in every World Cup. But no. It's not juju. It's you people in Nigeria. You are in Nigeria. And now you are even shaming yourself all over the world and blaming your failures on juju. Man. You should wake up and correct your mistakes and make things work better for Nigeria the way it was in the 90s. You were in another level in the 90s. If I remember somebody like... I'm talking about John Obi Mikel. This person was voted the best player in under 20, where under 20 World Cup, where Messi was also representing Argentina. John Obi Mikel was one of the best attacking midfielders until he joined Chelsea. And Chelsea with Mourinho, Mourinho, you have to pay. I mean, you have to play defensively. So, I mean, Mourinho shifted him to a defensive midfielder. But when he was an attacking midfielder in under 20, John Obi Mikel was the best player. And by that time, I think he had said he had already agreed to sign Manchester United. Then Chelsea came in with more money and then he shifted to Chelsea. Those were times where people were running for Nigeria players. People like Celestine Babayaro. He was just a defender, but the whole world knew him. But now name me one Nigerian defender that you can think right now on your head if you are not Nigerian. Nobody. And why? You can't tell me that Nigerians have forgotten to play football in such a short span. No. The federation is doing nothing, to develop players. Yeah, they are always on standoff with the players. Instead of investing more money on the youth academies and everything and play the national team players at the right time. No, there's always corruption over there. And this is a federation that is failing Nigerians, not juju. Forget about it. Congo deserved it. Congo played with their hearts. They played with everything. Yeah, they were representing their country and they knew this is our first World Cup after 1974. They knew that, and that's why they knew this thing, we have to make it. And they were playing like people really who defend their country, who want to represent their country, and people who want to make their country move to the World Cup. Nigeria, they have been to the World Cup. They think Congo, this is a team that we have been beating in history 2-3-0, man. That's history. That was when Nigeria was Nigeria. But the Nigeria that we have today It's not Nigeria that we have in the 90s. Nigeria is in the 90s. Any player in the forward line, if he goes to any African mall, I'm telling you, if he walks on any African street, Nwako Kanu was recently in Kenya. You should have seen how many people went there to see Nwako Kanu. Now, nowadays, no Nigerian player can even shut down a small mall in Nairobi. I'm telling you, it's impossible. Nobody knows him except for Victor Osimhen. And then Victor Osimhen was substituted maybe because of injury. I don't know why, because there was no information why he was substituted. And immediately you saw those Nigerian players, they were no longer Nigeria because they were all relying on Victor Osimhen wonders. And after Victor Osimhen left the pitch, they were playing, how we go, like people were asking themselves in head, how are we going to score? How are we going to score without Victor Osimhen? You know, there were no individual characters, they are leaders and everything. You know, in the 90s, if Nwako Kanu was not there, Amunike was there. When Amunike was not there, JJ Okocha was there. When JJ Okocha was not there, Sunday Olise, you remember Sunday Olise against Spain World Cup? Yeah, what kind of a shot from the midfield? Those are the players Nigeria used to have, but nowadays you can forget about Nigeria. And what I can tell Nigeria, you don't like the potential. You don't like the players. You got everything that you can pick on. It's only you have to work on your accountability. You should not look for excuses somewhere. Blame yourself and see what you can do better. At the moment, Nigeria can be beaten with any good African team, which was impossible back in the 90s. Okay? Do it. It's me, Shakmati. Take care. See you in the next episode.
As the clock ticks, time they go. No, they wait for nobody. Make you hustle, make you grind. No, they sleep on your destiny. Yeah. Sunrise to sunset, another day don't pass. Opportunities lost, chances where we miss our last. Gotta wake up, gotta chase 'em, gotta make 'em last. No time for darling, no time for the past. Time they go, time they fly. Make you know they look the sky. Opportunities they pass you by, so make you hustle, make you try. From Lagos to London, New York to Joburg, the hustle is real, the struggle is strong. But we know they tire, we know they give up. We go make 'em reach the top, fill our cup. Time they